Come on, girl. A few people said to me, "You said he would become more powerful on May 18th and nothing happened." Well, a lot happened, and he did gain more power. He gained power when K2, even before K2 went into his first house. It was so close, it still had an influence on the next house. The border between the two signs, the Sundhi, is foggy, and Rahu and Ketu are called shadowy planets too. The effects of this new power: he had innocent people deported. He had a congresswoman arrested for speaking out against his deportations, falsely accusing her of assault on his militia. He went to public media to tell the nation she was already guilty when she wasn't. There was no trial yet, as if she needed one. 2 days ago, he made threats against the Supreme Court, specifically to the justices he appointed. He moved from ignoring the courts to trying to veto the courts, and encouraged violence against them in his Trumpian way through incitement. He's demanding investigations and prosecutions against anyone who criticizes him. So far, his list includes Bruce Springsteen, Oprah Winfrey, former President Barack Obama, former director of the FBI James Comey, for his picture of seashells on Instagram, and attacked the Supreme Court justices. And now the biggest news: his big beautiful bill he submitted to Congress. It passed the House. Now it has to go to the Senate before he signs it. It'll go back to the House again for more adjustments. If it passes, here's the new Rakshasa power he'll have. It's supposed to be an economic bill. It does destroy the middle class and the poor financially, but it has a hidden agenda. The bill says no federal court in the United States may enforce a contempt action against Trump, is what it means. And that's because they would need to use federal funds to do that. So they're being denied the right to use funds for that purpose by Congress. That means if a court rules that what Trump is doing is illegal, and he then ignores them, which he's been doing already, there will from now on be nothing at all the courts can do to enforce its ruling, because it won't have access to the funds to do it. They can't do anything about what Trump is up to. This innocuous-looking clause puts him above the law. It effectively makes him the king. If it passes the Senate, this will end constitutional balance, the judicial branch, that was initially meant to prevent abuse in the administration of the federal government. It will be, in fact, the end of constitutional law. What the mentally retarded GOP did is not constitutional, but the House passed it anyway. And they did it so that Trump won't destroy their lives, and then they can get reelected and make more money from insider trading. Members of Congress get insider stock information before anybody gets it. The Founding Fathers created 3 branches of government, all equal. They made them to protect us from having a tyrant. The courts were all we had to keep him in check. But Congress is going to defy the Constitution and make this law. Now the courts are about to be neutered. There will be no more checks and balances. That means the end of democracy in the United States. The end of democracy was never going to happen with Trump making a proclamation. They're doing it through silence, through stealth. The bill was over 1,000 pages long. How many in the House actually read it all before signing it? If it passes the Senate, Trump will be able to pursue whatever he wants, break any law that he wants, imprison anyone he wants, deport anyone he wants without habeas corpus, without due process of law. And there will be nothing a court can do to stop him this time from now on. Because even if they rule that what he did was unlawful, he can ignore them. Because they'll have no power to actually enforce their decision. And he'll just say to them, hey, Congress made it a law. It's the law now that you've got to put up a bond. And they can't get the bond. It's denied now, or it will be. If this bill passes the Senate, this ends democracy. I'm not the only one saying this. Robert Reich, the economist and political commentator, said, with this provision, Trump has crowned himself king. According to attorney Mark Elias, an attorney specializing in voting rights and litigation, and he's the moderator of Democracy Docket, he says, this bill ends democracy. No Congress and no court can stop him now. Even if a future Congress were to try to stop him, it cannot do so without the power of the courts to enforce their hearings, investigations, subpoenas, and laws. In other words, this bill ends democracy. Literally and finally. Completely. According to every constitutional attorney and economist I have watched, this bill ends democracy. It will also end SNAP, that's food stamps for the poor, and increase wealth for the billionaires who need it less. It will affect 40 million low-income Americans and increase the national debt another $20 trillion. Their big, beautiful bill. Once the bill is adjusted by the Senate, it goes back to the House again for another vote, and so on and so on. So, did K2 give Trump more power? Even at his weakest degree, it already has. Wait until June 5th, when it's in the second degree of Trump's first House it's away from the Sunday enough to create real power. The Rakshasa power in the Rakshasa configuration that occurs in his first house. I've looked around for other Jyotishis. They're not talking about it. Go to Joni Patri. She says it's going to be a wonderful world for a while, and then it'll all go back to normal.